Peace. Good morning, family. How you doing? It's Mr. R2 here at Consistency is Currency. Definitely morning your morning podcast of choice. Um, Today is July the 14th. It is a Thursday. This week has definitely gone by extremely fast, extremely quick, and I am on day 4 of this fast, 10-day fast, and it is very challenging. It's very challenging at times because when you're hungry, you're hungry. Your body tells you you're hungry. Your body starts to feed on itself and it begins to feed in your mind to want you to go and just eat. Um, so it's a mental thing and it's a spiritual thing as well. How do you challenge your mind to go above and beyond uh, what it is and where it is right now? So again, definitely appreciate everybody for stepping in this space with me. Peace. Good morning, Miss Selena. Peace. Good morning, Trisha. So yeah, this journey is very interesting. So transparent moment. So I weighed myself like before I started this fast, and on Sunday I was 216, and I weighed myself today all the way down to 205, and I'm like, wow, that's crazy. That's like I got a tapeworm or something. But um, the journey is necessary for me. So I say, if you've never fasted, if you never put yourself in a challenging situation, psychologically, spiritually, as well as physically, I would say try it. You know, whether you do it just for 2 days or 3 days, whatever it is, it would definitely put you in a whole nother mindset as well, because you have to challenge yourself every day. Every day is a challenge. Every day is a new challenge, because every day there is something that you have an appetite for. But what if you begin to develop an appetite for you? What if you develop an appetite to succeed, or an appetite to grow, or an appetite to challenge yourself, or an appetite to be successful? That's the same thing that you do when you have an appetite to eat. It's like, what are you eating now? Are you hungry enough to withstand whatever type of situation that you may see before your eyes? Because it's the same type of hunger, it's the same type of desire. So if you have desire to eat food just as well as you have desire to meet certain goals and to achieve certain things. So that to me, as far as fasting goes, they're parallel. They are in like parallel universes as well. So let's get into it. Today is going to be good. So again, I appreciate you. Again, like always, I thank you for being here. You can be anywhere. Like I always say, we're all on the correct side of the dirt. You know, we're able to live. We're able to thrive and revive those who are in our circles who need it. And today we're talking about equipped to succeed. Um, Trust and believe a fast will definitely allow you to be equipped to succeed, because you're just tapping into so much stuff internally. Like the music is gone, for some reason it just disappeared, but I don't care, because it's the message that need to be received, not the music. Because a lot of times, even in music, you will tap your feet to the beat, or you will you know, bob your head to the beat, to where sometimes you miss the message and what the song was saying, or you miss what that person was trying to convey to you. So whatever it is, when the music went away, now it's time for you to listen to the words. Now it's time for you to eat off of the mental food that you're about to eat. This is your mental breakfast. So thank you for being here to Consistency is Currency, your morning podcast of choice. So now let's go ahead and jump into it. For those that may be new to the platform, if you're new to the platform, just go ahead and drop it inside the chat. I'm new. If you're new, it's okay. So that means that there is something that you're here for, and I pray that you get it. So, being that you're new, you're going to get the definition of the words, you're going to get the etymology of it, and you're going to get within the definition of the inversion of the definition, to where you learn more about the word and seeing it in a different perspective. And today, you know, hitting it home with the 4 points, and you also got a bonus today. So you got four and a P for those who play spades. So you got 4 and a P today. So getting into equipped to succeed, the first thing that I want you to understand is, let's get into this definition. So the definition of equipped, it says to furnish for service or action by appropriate provision. And I'm going to say that again, to furnish or service or action by appropriate provision. Now, the inversion on this is red over white. And I want you to pay attention to appropriate provisioning. Appropriate provisioning. So now let's go into the etymology. Now you're going to see a provision again. I'm going to give you the definition of provision, and you're going to understand it even more in how these two actually play a role in being equipped to succeed. So again, to furnish or service, hey, make sure you share this live, because there's a lot of nuggets and jewels in this when it comes to being equipped to succeed, because trust and believe, not everybody has the same type of tools. Your toolbox is different than mine. My toolbox is different than yours. You may have something in your toolbox that I didn't know that I can actually go out and get as well. So therefore, as I learn from you, you learn from me. So the things that you have that resonates with you as we speak, then go ahead and drop and put that inside the chat, because that tool that you just put out there in the atmosphere, someone may be able to pick that tool up and like, oh man, I didn't look at it that way. So now let me use that little nugget, or let me use that tool for me. So I'm able to absorb and absorb that and use it for my benefit. So again, to flourish or service, or to serve service or action by appropriate provisioning. And again, the inversion is red over white, appropriate provisioning. Now, this is where it got very interesting for me, because the etymology of the word equipped is French. Now, I don't know French. So if you're a person or individual that speak French, you can correct me. I really don't care if you do or you don't. But it says French, it says equiper, whatever. If I'm wrong, hey, whatever. Cumberland County, do better. So it says to fit out. So when you're equipped with something, that means you're ready and you're fit and prepared for whatever it is that you're about to do, because you're equipped with it mentally, psychologically, and spiritually. You're equipped with it. So to fit out. And then this is when it took a very interesting turn, because I would have never thought that equipped had an origin with ship. And I was sitting there like, that's crazy. But then when you look at it, it makes valid sense. And again, everything that I'm saying, this is something that you can research yourself. So if you want to research it yourself, type in etymology of equipped, and you're going to see it. You're like, wow, that's crazy. But again, French equiper, to fit out, and then it says script, SCIP, ship or boat. That's crazy, because let's look at it like this, from this perspective. So when you're equipped with something, that thing that you're equipped with, it allows you to get to where you're going. It allows you to carry yourself from one point to the next, from one dock to the next, from one island to the next, because sometimes you may feel lonely, like you're the only person on this island. But in order for you to get somewhere else, or to get around, or to do, or to exercise, or to execute certain things, you have to be equipped with that, right? So the etymology of equipped, it comes and it has a derivative or an origin from ship. So when you're like, okay, I know I got it. Now I'm ready to go. Now let me go where I need to be. Let me go where I need to be, or let me go where I'm wanted, because I'm built for that. So you're equipped for that. That ship that takes you from that point to another point, you have to have the tools. Just like when you say, I'm the captain of my ship and the author of my fate. So now, in order for you to get there, if you're the captain of your individual ship, you have to be equipped with certain skill sets, and you have to be equipped with certain things. You have to have the oar, you have to have the map, you have to have the compass, you have to have the sail in order for you to get to where you're trying to go. So you have to be equipped in order for your ship to reach the destination. You have to be equipped in order for you to understand the journey has tools. You have to have tools in order for you to get to the destination. So therefore, before you start your journey, you must be equipped with certain things. And it just took me for a loop when I was like, how in the world did they ever bring the word equipped out of the word ship? So now I trust and believe you're going to look at it from a different perspective. Like, how am I going to get there? Then you're going to start to say, okay, if I'm on my ship, what do I need on my ship to get me to make money, or to get me to start my business, to get me to take myself to a whole nother spectrum? What do I need on my ship? What are the tools in my toolbox that I need on my ship? Do I need a hammer? Do I need more nails? Do I need tape? Do I need 100 mile out? Do a 550 cord? Do I need bungee cord? Whatever it is, because you may need something to hold you down. You may need something to pick you up. You may need something to allow you to know that you got this. So look at the tools that you have. But remember, it says the appropriate provisioning. So now let's look at the definition of provision. Provision is a measure taken beforehand. That means before it happens, there is something that you have to have in order for you to deal with it in that particular time. So the definition says a measure taken beforehand to deal with a need or contingency. To deal with a need or contingency. And now the inversion on this that I want you to pay attention to is white over red, which is a measure taken. A measure taken, because remember, it said in the word equipped, it says an appropriate provisioning. So that means at times there are things that you have to have the appropriate amount of faith. There are things that you have to have the appropriate amount of vision, the appropriate amount of purpose, the appropriate amount of strength in order to get you to that point, because it says a measure taken. So that doesn't mean at times, yeah, you're going to have to give it your all, but at times you're going to have to measure it out in order for you to sustain throughout the journey. You're going to have to measure it out in order for you to reach that certain or particular goal. Y'all make sure y'all share this, because there's someone that have been that have been putting all their eggs in one basket, but they didn't know that they have to have at least a measure taken of provision, because beforehand, before you get to the destination, there has to be tools that you have to have in order for you to get it. And that's where your provision comes from. I'm sure some of us heard, for every vision, there's provision. So the provision are the measures that you take in order for you to have the vision to see where you're about to go. Because remember, the derivative of the word equip also comes from the word ship. All right, that's enough. So now let's go ahead and take this deep dive in equipped to succeed. So if you're equipped to succeed, say equipped. Or if you're still creating, because sometimes the tools that you need don't exist. And that really comes from an honest place. If the tools that you need do not exist, then you're going to have to create that tool. You're going to have to make something work. You're going to have to be the architect in what it is that you want to build. Who knows? You may put a hammer and a saw together, or you may put a nail and tape together. I mean, those things normally don't go together with tape and a nail, but that may be what you need in order for you to be equipped to succeed. So it's not always what your mama telling you that's going to equip you to succeed. It may be something that is burning on the inside of you that is going to equip you to succeed. So the tools that you need in your toolbox are the tools that is required of you to actually succeed. Again, not everyone's toolbox is going to be the same. Your toolbox may be red. My toolbox may be black. His toolbox may be green. Her toolbox may be yellow. Whatever it is, those are the things that is required of you in order for you to have or to be on the path of success or to be taken down the river on the boat. Those tools are yours and yours alone. So the first thing that I want you to understand, the first tool that I want to ensure that you have in your toolbox is to identify your fire. So put fire inside of the chat. Either you can put the whole thing, identify your fire, or you can just put fire. Whatever it is for you, because your fire is your why. That thing that burns inside of you, that thing that gives you the energy to continue to keep going and continue to drive on, because your fire, it genuinely believes that if your why is if your why is strong enough, then your how-to becomes that much more easier. Because if you can ask yourself that question and have an answer to that question, then it allows you to say, okay, well, how am I going to do it? I know my why. So how am I going to do it? What tools do I need to do? What tools do I need to possess in order to make it happen? What equipment do I need in order for me to fulfill this particular dream, destiny, or journey? Because your fire is your burning desire to succeed that will carry you through the challenges and your obstacles. And no doubt, all of us is going to have some sort of obstacle, because remember, your obstacles can transition into more opportunities for you. Because after you have jumped over or climbed out of that particular obstacles, now the opportunity that you've gained is really the experience in order for you to see beforehand on if these are more obstacles that's coming your way. Now you're going to be grounded on your why. Now, if your why is weak, you may want to review that why in order for you to dig deep and to discover what that why is, in order for you to refer back to it, the lessons that you learn, to refer back to your lessons. Because remember, success will all leave a clue. Success will always be able to leave notes. Now, as you leave notes throughout your process or throughout your journey on your ship of success, that's where you're going to have to refer to it in order for you to pull yourself through that particular goal. And you're going to have to identify your driving forces that is behind your goals, and ultimately envision it and the purposes for it, because everyone is driven by different incentives. It's like, what incentives do you have to finish this? You're going to have to create one, because a lot of times we don't give ourselves measurable goals. We don't give ourselves measurable outcomes, like saying, by Tuesday, I want to do this. All right, bet. So if I know Tuesday is my goal is the incentive behind my goal, what are the things I'm going to do in order for me to get there? Find what yours is and use that to your full advantage. And the next thing is to identify pain and pleasure points. It's like somebody said, you got to find your sweet spot. All right, cool. So now my question to you is an open question where you can put inside the chat. What is your must? That's your question. What is your must? You either put it inside the chat or inside of your head, ask yourself that question, but you have to answer it. Because if you can't answer what your must is, then how are you actually going to execute? How are you going to know, do you have the proper tool to do it? How are you going to know, what do I need on my ship that I need to be equipped with before I ever set sail. So what is your must? Because as humans, our actions are naturally driven to attract pleasure and avoid pain, right? I mean, that's a natural thing. It's like I'd rather eat cookies than eat. Well, I'd rather eat something sweet than for me to eat something sour. I mean, that's natural. That's dealing with your natural palates. So, um, those are the natural things. Now, change often happens where our pain threshold supersedes our pleasure. It's just like fasting. The pain of being hungry and starving have superseded my pleasure of food. So therefore, as I dig deep, there are changes that happens because my pain threshold have superseded my pleasure of eating. So I've identified my goal, and then my goal has become measurable because I know the incentive is to go 10 days without, but through the measurements, my incentives as well is one first day was to be still. My second day was to read. My third day was to read. And my fourth day today and tomorrow is to listen to YouTube videos that empower me, or YouTube videos that pour inside of me in order for me to feed myself healthy food, subconsciously feed myself healthy food. So now, if the pain of it does not succeed, then it becomes bearable. So those who fast know and understand when you're dealing with something and you're fighting through the pain of the fast, it then becomes bearable because you say, okay, bet, yeah, I'm hungry, but let me go ahead and read, or let me go do something to keep myself active and stuff like that. So now you have to begin to find a way to succeed. And when you find a way to succeed, you begin to change your should into your must. And when you identify the pleasures of bringing your goals to fruition, and now the pain is not as hard as as is not as hard as you thought it was, right? So then the next thing that I want you to understand, that being equipped to succeed is actually listening, because listeners learn and learners grow. It allows you to learn not just about you, but also learn more about your team, and also learn more about the people that are around you. And the key to listening is also listening to your inner you, listening to how you feel, listening to your body, listening to um, your thoughts and desires, and talking to yourself as well. So listening is kind of dual hatted, listening to you as well as being open to listening to others as well. And then the next thing, the fourth thing, is be resourceful and adaptable. Be resourceful and adaptable, because remember, success is not a smooth sailing process. Trust and believe, because there are times to where things that you desire just won't happen, or it just won't happen in the time that you put out, or it won't happen like you want it to happen. But because success is not a smooth sailing process, it's like what we envision the path to succeed sometimes is rarely not the case. But remember, it is also paramount and important that we have to remain resourceful and to be innovative when we come up with things and new ways for us to overcome these challenges. And as you begin to overcome these challenges, that's when your ability to adapt, or adaptability, is also become that crucial skill, or become that crucial tool that you need, because you have to begin to cultivate in order for you to achieve success, because you will otherwise be constantly and consistently suffering with disappointment. right? You have high expectations that I need to get this done. Then when you don't get it done, you're constantly feeling like you're disappointed yourself. But look at it this way. You were striving to get it done. It didn't get done, right? It didn't get done. So now you have to ask your question, what do I need to do to finish this? What could I have done different in order for me to make this happen? So then you pivot and you keep moving. Being an adaptive leader as well as being an adaptive individual in order for you to succeed. So now when it comes to adaptability, it also means to overcome the rigidity of the way that you think in order for you to hold back. Now, being open and open-minded to explore options and opportunities and avenues along the way as they come. Are you resourceful with yourself? Now, it's too easy for you to be a resource to someone else. So now the question is, are you resourceful with yourself? Are you ready to tell you what needs to happen? It's too easy for us to tell somebody else what need to happen, right? That's the easy thing. But can you actually point your finger at you and be completely transparent about it and say, man, if I'm ever going to succeed, then I need to ensure that I'm just as important as the energy that I put into the room. I'm just as important as the conversations that I'm having with everybody else. I need to be okay with having those conversations with me. Like, what is my what are my musts? What is my why? What's that fire that I have inside? And be able to answer those questions. Listening to the inner me as well. Identifying my sweet spot or identifying my pain points, because those are the things that's going to help you succeed when you know what those things are. If you don't know what the tool is, then how are you going to pull the tool out when it's time to use it? That makes zero sense. And this is the bonus. Learn how to build momentum. Learn how to build momentum. Because the thing with building momentum, that means it doesn't always have to be perfect when you're building it, because that's what your toolbox is for. You're going to have to pull the screwdriver out, like, let me tighten this up. Pull your hammer out, like, oh man, this nail is sticking out. Let me get this hammer and hammer this nail in. Because eventually what? Eventually it may come apart again. So build that momentum. Always be a forever student. Always be able to have the ability to learn. Because as you possess the ability to learn, you also possess the ability to grow. And when you possess the ability to grow, then you have more power when it comes to what you know. Your power base of knowledge becomes a lot stronger, because like we spoke about this past day, uh, discovery over develop. Knowledge is what you discover, but your wisdom is what you develop. Knowing how to do things when it's time to be done, knowing how to say things when things need to be said. Because if wisdom is wise words, ways, and actions, then it's still based on the foundation of your knowledge. It's still based on the things that you know, but how you say it is when it becomes wise and it becomes wisdom. So if wisdom is the tool that you need to have in your toolbox, then reach up and grab it. Put it inside your toolbox and know that it is yours, and pull it out when you need it. Because you don't always have to run your mouth and say something. You don't always have to be the voice in the room. Sometimes you just need to be the energy in the room that may change the situation because of the energy that you brought into the room. You don't always have to have the last word, but can you have the last ear? Are you open enough to hear? Are you open enough are you equipped? We'll use that. Are you equipped enough to listen? Are you equipped enough to exchange and change your should into your must? And then you will change your outcome. So those are the 4 tools plus 1, your 4 and the P. Those are your 4 tools. And now the question for you is, are you equipped to succeed? So make sure you put inside the chat what were your takeaways, and take this and share it with someone else and ask the question at the top. Are you equipped to succeed? So again, put your takeaways, what you learned or listened to, that's something that you can put in your toolbox, because remember, not everybody has the same toolbox. So what you taken away from it that you can put inside your toolbox, leave that comment, but then share it, and then put the question to the open question to your circle is, are you equipped to succeed? Because remember, the derivative and the sub origin of equipped is ship. Do you have what you need on your ship to take you to that next point? Do you have what you need on that ship that is going to take you through the journey to reach your destination? All right, I'm done. Man, y'all be blessed. And remember, here it is at Consistency is Currency podcast, your morning podcast of choice. And yeah, I'm Mr. R2. Now I will drop the podcast link after this is over, and I'll throw some more music on top. But y'all be blessed. Peace.